Hello, and welcome to my watch-along of the Last Woman Standing match from WWE Evolution 2018, as you can see on the screen right now. The only WWE Evolution event, but, you know, that's the year it was in. I'm doing this because I finally decided to get round to completing WWE 2K20 showcase mode over on EBEZASimsgames. So at the same time as uploading this video here, where I'm watching the match from showcase mode, on EBEZASimsgames, at the exact same time, the match of me playing the showcase mode match will be uploaded. And on EBEZASimsgames, me simulating the match on WWE 2K20 will be uploaded. So if either of those things tickle your pickle, then once you're done here, give it a watch. Give them a watch as well. It'd be greatly appreciated. Now, I have to point out that I will not be showing the match here. Copyright law is a thing. I can't just be uploading entire WWE matches. They're not fond of that. So you'll need your own WWE Network or Peacock or whatever your international equivalent is. Open it up, get to WWE Evolution 2018, and then pause it. And then the way I did this, I don't know if all international versions have this, but I used the jump to feature and came to, there you go, Charlotte versus Becky, which wasn't the main event, which is crazy to me. But yeah, I came to Charlotte versus Becky, and that put me on 2 hours, 11 minutes, and 48 seconds, where I am now. So, what you need to do, pause this video, get yourself set up on 2:11:48 on Evolution, and then unpause my video, and then the next thing we're going to do is count down and click play together so we can watch it at the same time, and I can provide you my thoughts. Alright, going to assume everyone's done that now. So the next thing you'll hear me do is I'll count down 3, 2, 1. Then hopefully you'll be able to hear my button click in the microphone. But if not, I will leave about 5 seconds of footage on the screen just so you can make sure you're synchronized with me. So, you ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, hopefully you heard that, but just in case you didn't, there's your 5 seconds. And there's JoJo. Hope she's doing okay. Yep. True. All true, JoJo. All very true. Can't fault anything you just said. So this was an interesting time in the women's revolution because she was Charlotte Flair was supposed to be the babyface here. Is her the clasp in the middle of her underneath the boobs, that bit, is that supposed to look like the classic WWF title a little bit that Ric Flair held and won at the Royal Rumble? Because to me, it does a little bit. It also matches her bottoms and kick pads and what have you. But to me, that just looks a bit WWF title 1992. And then you take off the gown and it reveals it's just part of a bigger gear. But do you reckon that was intentional? Or is that just me reading into something that isn't really there? I don't know. Whee! Super impressive. There's no denying the athleticism of Charlotte. It's just everyone was already tired of her just constantly recycling women's titles in the insanely transparent attempt to get her to her father's record. And she was supposed to be the babyface here. However, yeah, people weren't buying that. People were wanting Becky, as you can hear. Charlotte, undeniable, incredible talent. She just got John Cena'd. Or, you know, Big Dog Roman Reigns. Where you just get rammed down people's throat too much and people get sick of you. Whereas Becky Lynch, she was supposed to be a heel when she turned on Charlotte. Wow, we're going back some. Was it though? I know WWE want you to believe that the Women's Revolution was purely a WWE main roster thing, but Impact were doing massive things with the women way before this. NXT was the reason this version of the Women's Revolution happened, between the likes of Bayley and Sasha. The women, I know in the game, by the way, in 2K20, they acknowledge some of the NXT stuff, but WWE at this time were trying to make it sound like it was all just them. But go all the way back to Paige versus Emma. That Paige versus Emma to me is the comprehensive start to the women's revolution in WWE. That's my pick for what it was. So weird that they took Ashley Flair, changed her name to Charlotte, and then couldn't introduce her as being from Charlotte, because that sounds silly. From Charlotte, even though I'm sure there's lots of Charlottes who come from Charlotte, it just sounds a bit silly being announced, doesn't it? Still so weird to me that they did it. Would Ashley Flair feel as big time? It's kind of impossible to tell, isn't it? Because we live in the timeline where she's called Charlotte Flair on WWE TV. It's very difficult to say. But, yeah, I always thought it was kind of funny that they were like, oh, she's from Charlotte, we should name her Charlotte. Oh, now we have to announce where she's from. Oh, just say the Queen City, because that's what they call Charlotte. It's like, you could have just avoided all of this. Anyway, I recall this being a really fun match, like a really good match, so I'm really looking forward to revisiting this. Obviously, having recently played the Showcase Mode match, which, spoiler alert, in terms of, well, not spoiler alert, fourth wall break, that was the first element of these 3 concurrent elements that I recorded. I got reminded of certain spots and what have you, so I'm not going into this 100% like time blind, as in it's not really been 6 years since I last saw this, but still looking forward to revisiting it fully. Going at it early on. The fans firmly behind Becky Lynch here. Although I'm pretty sure there's moments in this match. I love the referee counting Becky because she was shoved. It's like, what? You were on the mat? And it's like, yeah, that's not okay, but sure. But yeah, this match was booked as Becky Lynch is the heel and Charlotte's the babyface. So they decided early on they'd have the most likable thing about this version of Becky Lynch, the trash talking, be prominent. And the least likable bit about Charlotte, which is sort of the arrogance that she has. And it's always come across as arrogance, whether she's been face or heel, in my opinion. Let's have that exemplified by her strutting after pushing Becky Lynch over, because all babyfaces do that all the time. It's never been a heel strategy, has it? But yeah, I remember, I mean, I'm not going to try and spoil too much before it happens in this match, but there's definitely a moment in this match where Becky begs off Charlotte in quite a heelish fashion. And, yeah, I just think they really, really wanted us to cheer Charlotte and boo Becky here, and they were adamant that we were going to. And it's just like, it's very symptomatic of, like, WWE, at least for the duration of basically all the years beginning with 201, the 2010s. But honestly, it went back further than that and probably lasted a bit beyond that, really. But it's very symptomatic of them in that era of, no, we have decided who your favourites are, and who you will cheer, and who you will boo. And even if you disagree, we don't care, you're just wrong. With very few exceptions where they changed course, such as Daniel Bryan. They just stuck to their guns. And, like, I get it. Well, no, I would get it, because it's hard to change plans. If you've got months of stuff planned out, and you know exactly where you're going, and who's going to be the champion going into this show, and then who they're going to lose it to, and then who they're going to lose it to, it can be hard to rewrite all of that just because the fans took a shine to, for example, Becky Lynch. However, at the same time in that era, there was constant reports of Raw and SmackDown being rewritten whilst the show was ongoing, like multiple times. So they didn't have that long plan. They didn't have that long game planned out perfectly, step by step. So if they could change it on the whim of a certain terrible old man that we'll just try not to mention too much, then they could change it on a month by month basis on the basis of who's hitting the right cards with the fans and who isn't. You know, that's just not how it was. It feels a bit better now. It feels like weirdly they've got a combination of more long-term booking and storytelling and planning, and also more changeability depending on how the wind blows. Like, I don't know how both have come in, but yeah. Anyway, we're outside the ring now. Charlotte just screams at Becky. I think I might have to try and capture that and make that the thumbnail. That was fun. Just like screams like no. I don't know if she actually screamed the word no, but that was the feeling behind the scream. That candlestick went flying. Luckily, it didn't hit anyone in the crowd or anything. What I like as well is Becky Lynch, despite being a heel, like also acknowledged the fan reaction, because I think sometimes when you have a situation like this, they used to book it where not only were they ignoring the fan reaction with the booking, but like the wrestlers were sort of expected to. And one of the few things that I did like about John Cena during his, like, you know, his reign of terror, as it were, was the fact that he would at least acknowledge the negative reaction he was getting. Like, they didn't change anything, but that wasn't up to John Cena, but it was nice that he was willing to take it on board, if you like, you know, and acknowledge the fan reaction. And Becky Lynch here has been, like, very much playing to the crowd as if she believes in character she's the babyface in the story. Because, one, she should, because she is, but two, she should, because it's very unrealistic for someone, a character in a movie or a wrestler or in a TV show or even a real person throughout history, to believe they are evil. To act because, look at me, I'm so evil, mwahahaha. Most people, no matter what evil they have done in history, have felt like they were justified in their own mentality. They've felt they were justified. Whether we, as a society, agree or disagree, it kind of doesn't matter. The point is, they felt justified in that moment, and the best wrestling heels, for me, are the ones who can justify their actions, at least within the realms of what they believe to be right and wrong. Current example being Drew McIntyre is a great heel, partially because he is able to justify a lot of his actions, but then because he's a heel, sometimes he's a bit hypocritical and goes against his own morals to get the result he wants, and that's what makes him a heel rather than just being a justified babyface. Becky Lynch here isn't even really a justified heel, she's a justified babyface, but with her being booked as a heel, she believes in her own message and what she's trying to achieve, which is the downfall of Charlotte Flair as this perceived best who always gets handed opportunities. And I think she said the term, she manipulated her way into that triple threat where Charlotte won the title from Carmella. You know, like, that's how the character Becky Lynch sees the character Charlotte Flair, and she will do whatever it takes to deal with that situation and do the right thing, which is to put herself, someone who she feels deserves it a lot more, on top. Like, you know, I think that's better than just just, oh yeah, I attacked Charlotte because, you know, screw the fans. Because sometimes it's just like acting just because screw the fans seems a bit counterintuitive. Like, if you can justify... Because Becky can't even do a you people thing, because the fans have always kind of been... Well, not kind of. Have always been behind Becky. So she can't even do, like, a you people. Oh, you people turned on me, because they didn't. So it'd make no sense to do it that way. So I really liked this Becky Lynch character development. I was going to say turn, but I don't think she ever really turned heel. I think she went from face to super face. Like... And WWE just booked her as a heel for a couple of months. Oof. Like, they were very nicely arranged by Becky. Like, you know, but there's always a degree of risk in getting slammed onto a pile of chairs where, you know, a leg could just be sticking up a little bit and just stab into you or scrape the skin and draw, you know, and draw blood or whatever. So, like, yeah, fair play. Rough spot. Rough spot, well taken. What's that just rolled seemingly away from Charlotte? Like, seemingly Charlotte dropped that. Was it like a massive sequin or something? What is that in the ring? Smart of Becky to cover the back of the head. You don't want the back of the head getting impaled on a chair. Like that's the last place you want impaled. Almost made contact there. We've got a table now. I think there's a table on the other side of the ring as well. On the outside, I think I saw Charlotte getting that out while I was ranting about something. Apologies for not play-by-playing this, but I suppose if you wanted pure play-by-play of this, you'd not be watching my version of the video, you'd just be watching the show. Because they're doing play-by-play on commentary right now. Oh, I remember that table. I remembered that table before we even did the showcase mode video, to be fair. This table was... Oh. Oh. Yeah, the table in the corner of the ring. Let's just say, again, not spoiling too much, doesn't go great. Not first attempt, anyway. Who's anti? Leave whoever's anti out of this. I guess unless Charlotte Flair... Does David Flair have kids? If Charlotte's the anti, then I guess she's fair game because she signed up for this match. Comic Sans rules. What a sign to take to a wrestling show. And you didn't even put your sign in Comic Sans. There was two great options for that sign. One was to put it in Comic Sans, one was to put it in Times New Roman. Not sure handwriting it had the same effect. But anyway, that person firmly believes in Comic Sans, so good for them. Yeah, she massively overshot and basically we didn't get the table break. Because there was no downward momentum on the table at all. She was over the table. She hit the mat basically before she hit Becky, like with her feet. And I'm sure there was a bit of a discussion there of set it back up, we have to break the table. Like, yes, it was supposed to break there, but, right, we break it now. And Charlotte was sort of like, screw that, I'm not trying another moonsault. Look at the conversation. Like, Becky's having a hell of a conversation with either Charlotte or the ref. There we go. That guy just stands up and does a little golf clap like, yay, we broke the table. Ah, they're making up. They're having a lovely little cuddle. They're friends again now. Ref, you can stop counting. We've reached the resolution we all wanted, which is that they're friends again. Is that blood on Charlotte's elbow? Has she, like, scuffed herself? Or is that, like... I don't see any confetti anywhere. You know, like, anything for her to have, like, lay in, like, and got stuck to her. I'm guessing she's just busted open her elbow a little bit. Uh-oh. Now we've got a ladder. You know, I'm noticing, and again, not too many spoilers, but a lot of the stuff that the showcase mode match has you do as Becky Lynch, Charlotte actually does. Like, it has you produce the table, has you produce a ladder. Look at that ladder! Hey, I bet you couldn't do that again. What is rolling around in the ring? Yeah, what is that? That's two. There was two of them then. I can't see any, like, little black balls on either woman's attire. So where are they coming from? Is someone throwing little rubber balls into the ring or something? What is it? Fans chanting, "This is awesome." Hard to disagree. It's been pretty good. Oh, I can't imagine ladder bumps are very fun. I can't imagine. Like, let's be honest. We are repeatedly told, and I firmly believe, bumps in general suck. Like, oh, you know what's interesting? When this was taking place, the current game was obviously 2K19, so that's the sponsor of the replays, even though I'm now watching this as part of a 2K20 video series. That's kind of fun. Anyway, yeah, we're told constantly that taking bumps sucks. Like, but on a ladder, that's gotta, like, double suck, at least. Maybe triple suck. You don't know what she's doing yet. Yeah, what do you think? Stupid question, Michael Cole. What a stupid question. Oh. If you can't stand, you can't stand. Factual statements by Michael Cole. I get what he was trying to get at, but not very well articulated, I gotta say. So, I will say, I don't believe the ladder really adds anything to this submission. Like, at this point, neither of Becky's legs are even really touching the ladder. Like, I get it, it's a fun spot, but it does nothing extra. Becky gets a chair. Why do I have it in my memory, and they've probably re-edited it for the network? Why do I have this recollection of, weren't they too far from the chairs and the referee just kind of kicked it over to Becky? Is that this match? Where the referee just casually kicked a chair towards someone so they could do the thing they needed to do with it? Why do I feel like that was this match? If it wasn't, what match was it? Let me know in the comments if you know what spot I'm talking about. There's definitely a moment where someone was in like a submission in some sort of no disqualification match, and the idea was that they would escape using a weapon, but they were too far from it, so the referee just casually like slid it to them. And it was like caught on camera. There's a significant lack of enthusiasm for counting there from the ref for Charlotte. I know it was obvious she was going to be able to get up, but he should have been counting, like, properly. Has anyone ever lost a last man standing match because they've, like, taken out their opponent and then just kind of sat there and enjoyed the view, and then the opponent has got up and the referee's just counted 10 because they were still technically not on their feet, the person who did the move, I mean. It'd be a funny finish to a match. Like, last man standing matches don't often call for funny finishes, which I think is the problem with that. But it'd be a unique, like, way to finish a match. I'm not saying it'd necessarily be a good way to finish a match, but it'd be unique. Yeah, where is Becky going? Oh, you must boo this woman! This is the heel! Don't cheer her as she walks past you. Boo this woman! Please boo her! I'll be honest. I think one of the weakest parts of this event, from my memory, was the commentary. I get what they were doing, having like 2 women's commentators because it's a women-only show. But I think Renee Young / Paquette is much better as an interviewer than a commentator, personally. And I don't think Beth Phoenix is that great on commentary either. She's much better utilized in other ways, like in ring, for example. I don't particularly love either of their commentary, and it, unfortunately, it came across a little bit like, I can't think what the word is. Almost patronizing, in a sense that, well, yeah, we know the commentary is not as good, but it's got to be women, hasn't it? Because it's a women's show. So, like, it felt a bit like tokenism almost, in a way. Whereas JoJo doing the ring announcing, she was great at it. So it in no way, shape, or form feels like tokenism. You know what I mean? Like, if you've got like regular announce teams, like Corey Graves was definitely like around at this point. The fact that they chose not to have Corey Graves because they needed to have women, it just feels disingenuous to me. A lot of the Women's Revolution stuff felt very disingenuous. You know, it's like, oh yeah, look, we're letting you. That's kind of like what the mentality was, isn't it? We're letting you do Royal Rumbles and Money in the Bank and Elimination Chambers and Hell in a Cells and main events. Like, it was very checkboxy, wasn't it? And I think having 2 women on commentary here felt a bit like a checkbox exercise rather than the actual right decision. Why was the German announce table like a main announce table for this? Like, they've always had the English announce table. Often they have the Spanish one. What was going on with the German one being like one of like this new big 3? Were they really trying to expand into Germany at this point? Like, I don't remember hearing about that. I'm just curious, like, because usually the foreign announce teams were away from the ring, and you might get the Spanish one, and then if you're in a different country, you get like the Arabic announce table at the Saudi shows, and you'd get the you had like the French announce team at Backlash France and stuff. But yeah, what was the deal with the German announce team? Like, nothing against them. I'm just curious why the German announce team, because they had so many different announce teams. Why the German ones? Whee! Why somebody stop her? What's illegal about it, Michael Cole? You knew what you were signing up for, calling a last woman standing match, Michael Cole. Maggle. The difference between, like, and I have no doubt it was partially down to, like, the regime at the time, but Michael Cole, okay, he's getting a little animated, but I was just watching him there, and his voice is very animated, but he sat with his arms folded on the desk. Like, showing very little, like, body language emotion. It's all just voice. Like, even now, look at him. Whereas nowadays, he's jumping out of his seat and stuff. And I think that's more just, like, being allowed to do stuff like that. Oh, Renee's getting nervous. Yeah, give me that chair as well, she says. Very nicely placed, all those chairs on Charlotte. Yeah, those chairs are doing a lot. Michael Cole prompted the ref. Not much point in counting if she's going to keep doing stuff, though. Half a table as well. Becky, I hate to break it to you. Technically, there you go. I was going to say, you're not standing either. What's Becky Lynch saying to them? She just went over and said something to the commentators. Probably something in character. Becky's up to a count of 2, just saying. 3 for Becky. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. Okay, she's on her feet. What a warrior. They really wanted us to cheer Charlotte in this. Here's the bit I mentioned before, Becky begging off. Phrasing. She doesn't have it coming, though. Charlotte has it coming. Stop trying to tell me who the babyface is. I know who the babyface is. I know who the good guy is. You know what? I just did a watch-along, like, a few days ago. When was that? Let me just check my spreadsheet. On the 3rd, so 4 days ago, and it was WWE No Mercy 2004, and I had a big tirade throughout the entirety of the match featuring him about how Billy Kidman was right, and yet somehow he was the one who turned heel. Like, this is the same, except the fans acknowledged that Becky was in the right here, and the fans were on board with Becky. Easy for you to say. Bang, bang, bang. I am the warrior. Which is ridiculous, considering she debuted on the main roster, like, 3 years prior. Oh! Yeah, I can't imagine that table did a lot to break that fall. I imagine that hurt quite a bit. Not hard to sell that one, I don't think. Hey, act like this hurts. Okay. No problem. I'm waiting to hear the crowd reaction when it gets to 10. She's on her feet. Yep, the fans are pretty happy with that. And genuinely, I think at the time I was very surprised. I'm still kind of surprised that they didn't have Charlotte win it. I am still kind of surprised. This almost felt a bit like they were listening. Even though they were still insisting that Becky was the heel, they were also acknowledging how popular she was and gave her the win there, I think, based on that. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on this match, on that decision, on anything I've said, really. That's what the comment section is for. Leave a like if you enjoyed this trip down memory lane and this video. Subscribe if you're new here, and check out the other videos I have on my other channels relating to this match. They will be on the end screen. But for now, all I have left to say is thank you very much for watching. As always, I've been EBEZA, you've been amazing, and I'll see you next time.